Alright guys, today we're going to try and get some of the dents in this quarter out because I have not touched it since spring break bash.
I wonder what it feel like to do that shit in real life. And now I know I got it. That's the reason, no, I be inside me on the dotted, but it's still visionary to the death for me. Yeah, I'm trying to make it, but I gotta find a recipe. Greatest of all time, I want the world addressing me.
So I actually have some decent confidence we're going to be able to get this line here out and maybe at least this dent. And then this here we're probably going to have to get with like a come along tied to something, but you know, didn't have anything to do today, so I figured, let's see if I can try and get some of this stuff out. Right now I've got the air pump in here. There's a little access hole. I've actually got a volleyball up in there, a little kid's soccer ball, and I've actually been able to get a good bit of it out. All right, so watch that. See it coming out ever so slightly. That was a big move there, actually. Check our tension. Gonna let it air down a little bit. Move it kind of back to this spot here again, where this divot is. See if I can't get it to come out more, because it's actually moving a lot. It's connected. Oh, immediate movement. Oh, that moved a lot. Wow. That moved a lot. Check our ball, pretty tight. It's moving a lot, actually. I'm impressed. It's at around 15. I don't want to blow it up. I'm having to be pretty careful. Moving a lot though, so let me get a pry bar around that corner and see how much it goes. Move the ball, pried here a little bit, got this part to come out a little bit more, which is good, but still not quite where I need to be, so I moved the ball back down. It really sucks because the seatbelt thing is right here, but it's actually maybe helping a little bit. So I'm gonna air up, see how much it moves. All right, and let's go. Moved a little. It's pretty stiff. Go a little more. I actually got really good movement there. I'm actually surprised. So I'm gonna pry a little more, keep going at it. So my volleyball there decided to take a crap on these, but I do have an old NFL football. I think this might actually help this out a little bit. It's not quite as round, but I might be able to get into some of the tighter spots. So I'm gonna try this out now, but we're not giving up just because we broke one ball. We got backup. So new ball is in place, and we're just gonna pump this bitch up. See what happens. Oh, wow. Whoa, look at that movement. Oh my gosh. What? Let me check how tight that is. Oh, it's pretty tight. But wow, that moved a lot. That moved a whole bunch. I think I have a little bit more that I can go. Dude, that moved a bunch. Holy smokes. Okay. And so I went ahead, beat on it a little more. Got it to come out a lot more than what it was. But I'm gonna go ahead and go grab a Torx bit so that I can take the seatbelt cup out here so I'm not having to fight around it. It's gonna give me way better access. So I'm gonna go run to the garage, grab one of those bits, and I'll be right back. I went ahead, grabbed the impact, undid the seatbelt bolt here. It is just a T50 on the impact, and that frees up this whole room. Obviously you do have to pry this cup off, which is just essentially glued in place. I can just re-glue that with some leather strip seal. But now we have access to so much more, and I'm just gonna shove this jack handle pull in there and see what I can make pop out. All right, so I've got this pretty jammed in there at the moment, but I'm actually slowly working this section as well. So I think I'm gonna be able to get this little wrinkle out a little bit better. I already got one here. So I'm gonna go like here, try and get that out, and then just slowly work my way this way progressively. And I think I might be able to get most of it out. So I've been out here in the freezing cold fucking working away at this quarter. I will say it is significantly better. I've reshaped most of this. I need to get like a basketball because I can't quite get that dent out. If you look it up and down, it's offline, so I can't really get anything in there to hit it at an angle like that. It just kind of slides over the hump, but I actually stabbed through with the pry bar on accident, so I ended up just using it as a hole to get most of this out. And I started kind of getting this edge back. This dent is a really tight crease on the inside. If we look, it's a really tight crease down there, and I just can't get it. So yeah, this is about where I'm gonna call it for the night. All right guys, so as you can tell, it's been a couple days because it's been freezing and I'm in gloves, and yeah, it's cold, but we're back on the car. It's looking really, really good. I've got a basketball that I'm working on shoving into this tiny hole to get back here. Hopefully I can get it right around this area because this is the main area I want to get out. I know this is gonna be crumpled pretty well, and I think I honestly can get maybe like a come along behind this part and pull it out this way, but that's not going to be until a lot later when it's actually not, you know, next to an apartment building where I have nothing to tie it to. So I'm gonna end up getting this part out later, but I, at the very least, want to try to get this big dent here out, as well as this one here that goes right along the body line. I'd like to get both of those out, and maybe this guy down here if I can, but I don't know if that one's gonna come out. So let me continue to try to shove this thing in the hole, and I'll pick it up from there. All right, so I've got it shoved up in there pretty much where I wanted it, which is like right in here. So I'm gonna inflate here first, try to get this section out, and then if that comes out, I'll move it down here and get this dent here out. Where are we at? Ooh. Oh, it's moving a good bit. Look at all that movement. See what our PSI is at. 8.5. Can keep going. Oh, that moved a lot, dude. All right. Wow. It's actually almost back. That's really good. That cleaned most of this dent out. All right, so this is about where we're at. Bent this out a little more with the pipe. I was able to get my jack handle between the rim and the tire here, and kind of put my body weight into it coming this way. I got this out a little bit more, actually way more than it was before. But as you can tell by the active snowfall, it's getting a lot colder out here, so I'm gonna go ahead and call it for right now, go warm up, and I might come back at it tonight or maybe tomorrow, but it's getting cold to the point where I can't move my face anymore, so going inside. All right, so we're out here at the car. Obviously, it's the next day. It's kind of melting-ish. It's only like 40 out today, which is great. Way better than it was yesterday. I'm standing in ice, but regardless, I have the football in there actually sideways like this, so that it expands outwards. That's working a lot better than the basketball for this dent here. And I wanted to get a camera on it because I can now set my jack handle on top of the ball and I can try and hit right there where that dent is. And I'm gonna try and see if I can beat this thing out like this. Currently, the ball a little more. Oh, that's scary. We're at 13 psi. See how hard that thing feels. Yeah, stiff as a rock. So now that it's fully aired back up, I'm gonna get the bar lined up and hit it with the mini sledge and see what I can do. So that actually worked very well. We got this little bit here to pop out. Now I'm gonna deflate the ball, move it down a little bit, and see if I can't beat here a little bit. Try to get that a little bit out. But this is working very, very well. Very well. As we can tell, I've been smacking the crap out of it. I've only gotten it to move a little bit. It's definitely a little better, but it's still pretty pronounced. I mean, I don't think I'm ever really gonna get that body line back. And even with the ball lined up for the bottom half of it, it just won't fully push it out. So, yeah, we'll see. I'm gonna keep working at it a little bit, but we're pretty much almost as good as we're gonna get. I'm not gonna lie. All right, so after a series of hammering and smacking, this is kind of where we're at. I cannot get this knot out for the life of me. So we're just gonna have to live with that guy. I spent probably 35 minutes just on this right here, trying to get it out. The angle is not advantageous at all, but the rest of it actually came out very well. I got most of this out with just hammering and stuff because the ball was no longer doing anything. Tried working some of this, but it's been a real pain in the butt. Again, just because of access down there, can't really get it. So, but overall, on the other side, when I looked at the other quarter, this line kind of fades out as it hits here anyways. So honestly, the fact that this is out, I think having the vent in here is going to help a ton as well once I get that back in. But yeah, as you can tell, we're losing light. And I did make a slight modification there to the seat belt bracket hole. I don't recommend doing that. I was gonna just drill some holes big enough to get my pry bar through, but I ended up just cutting a giant square so that I could get this giant dent out much easier, which if we look with the panel is a lot better than what it was. So I'm pretty happy with this. I'm gonna go ahead and leave this where it's at for now. Bondo and paint makes the dent repair I ain't. So that's gonna be that. I don't really plan on doing anything else with it. I also bent some of the door skin back around because the door was actually separating here. So I actually bent that back around and now the door lines up much nicer. My trim actually goes on. And what else? This dent is significantly better than it used to be after I got the ball back there. Unfortunately, I just can't really do anything about this section without, you know, doing like a tack weld and pulling out this way. So this is pretty much as I can do for this section. I have to bend this little arch in a little bit just to get the vent back in there once I have that again. All right, good morning. It is the next day again. We are going to be moving on to the trunk area from where I hit that barrier at Spring Break Bash. I'll maybe throw that in here. It is significantly nicer out. As you can tell, things are melting. It's nice and warm. I can actually stand on the ground and it's not super icy. It's more like a runny slushy. So yeah, we're gonna make that work. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and jump on the trunk. Another video we're gonna be doing at some point in the future is kind of fixing my seating position in the car. I never really realized how much I eat the steering wheel once this thing is in here. And you can kind of tell how far my gas pedal is in relation to my brake and my clutch pedals, and I plan on trying to move the gas pedal forward so I can sit farther back. Because currently I sit this far forward and the steering wheel is, as you can tell, like basically in my lap when I'm in the seat. So what I want to do is move that pedal forward and move the seat back about 2 clicks. But let's go ahead and jump back into the trunk. I have to crawl through that tiny little gap to do the trunk release because some random crackhead, when I was still in Florida, decided to punch my trunk out. So yeah, let me go crawl and pop this. Okay, so after a few minutes, I did manage to get this out. You have to pull all 3 screws out of here, and then all of these T20s have to come out, which will make the fuel door come out as well. And then you can have access to this whole piece. So now I can get in there a lot better with a hammer and kind of move the filler neck as I need out of the way and get some of this dent out. So I've got a basketball in there now, and it actually moved a whole lot. Like this whole top half came out. So I'm gonna deflate it, scoot it back fully into this corner, and then do it again, because I think this is gonna work. I went ahead, got the ball to the side, and that has moved out tremendously. This was all sunken in, and it has since popped out. As we can tell, looking this way, that is way better. Still a little in down here, so I'm gonna try see if I can't get the ball kind of here-ish and just get this a little bit out. But this whole section is way better than it was, and then we're just gonna have to take the pry bar and beat all of this corner out individually, slowly, unfortunately, but at least there is kind of access for it now that I have that plastic thing out of the way. All right, I've got that positioned down there now. Add some air. That should start pushing that bottom out a little bit. Yeah, there it goes. Oh, we got big movement on that. That was actually really nice. It pulled most of that out. Just have that little dent right there. That actually did so much. So that's sick. So now that this is looking way better, I just want to get this last corner out. This is the current setup. Just using my feet to hold this thing in place and smacking it right on the corner. And it's slowly making improvements. I just have to keep absolutely smashing it, and it's eventually gonna come out. So yeah, laying in a puddle of freezing cold water, just loving life. I think I'd be in this position to make my content. We come back here and look now, we've actually almost got most of it even, to the point where some of this actually sticks out, and I can actually work some of this metal back inwards. So I'd much rather have a really big high spot here. Like this is actually like a giant bubble. So I actually have to beat some of this back in now because that is too high. But that's perfect because I can actually get a piece of wood behind it and then start reforming it to the corner essentially, which is really nice. So big W for that. And I'm gonna take 5 because it was a lot of swinging to get that out. I took the hammer, knocked down our high spots so that it's all pretty uniform with the actual taillight now, and then it does what it's supposed to, where it kind of rounds out up here. Because if we look on the other side, it's kind of got this natural kind of curve to it that goes inside. So trying to replicate that on this side as, you know, as best as you can with the current situation. I'm bent this bubble down to match the bumper, and then it kind of stays flat here and then arches back up and kind of 45s a little bit, to try and kind of recreate the look, but it's a lot better than it all just being crushed in. And then I'm going to go back inside and get this dent here out, because once I get this dent here out, it's going to flow this down into the garbage a lot nicer. And most of this is just having the structure so I can Bondo fix most of it, because you know, it's a drift car, it's not a show car at the end of the day. But I don't know, maybe I Bondo it, maybe I don't. I honestly don't know. But for now, we're just trying to reshape it as best as I can. So I'm gonna jump back in there and get on that. All right, so just got done beating this top dent out mostly. There's still a little bit of a wave in there, but the main piece of it is out, and it now kind of goes straight into that at a 45 like it's supposed to. You can tell this part's kind of normal, and then it just turns into the Rocky Mountain range. But again, significantly better than what it was. Looks a lot better like that, in my opinion, than it did when it was all crushed in. And a little bit of paint is going to go a long way for most of these. So yeah. Now a lot of you are probably wondering, what about the doors, Tim? Well, honestly, they're really not bad. This one is almost perfect, minus this door top, but there is no dent on it. This is actually from Mason. But other than that, there's really no damage to the left side of the car. Everything has been on the right, and I'm being honest, the door is not bad enough for me to really mess with any of these. I mean, it has a slight tweak down at the bottom from this one here, which kind of makes it bow out. But honestly, again, I don't think it's worth, you know, spending a whole bunch of time trying to, you know, this is Nate's bash bar. This is, I think some cones did this here. This is Adam Green, actually, is all three of these. And this is a separate one as well. And there's one here as well that I painted over. So it's the nature of the beast. Once I have the vent back in place, most of this is going to look so much better. This whole side's getting repainted anyways, you know, in various spots, because it's chipping all up here at the top of the door and stuff from sitting. So that's pretty much going to be it for this video. All right, so that pretty much does it for today's video. We got the quarter about as good as it's gonna get, to be honest. It's about as good as I care to get it. They don't make overs for these cars, so anyone in the comments that wants to chirp in, you have to get the Duraflex wide body ones, and they're $300, and the matching bumper is also $300. And if you know anything about this channel and what I do, this is the cheapest budget car humanly possible, so we're not doing that. I'm gonna run it how it is. I might Bondo it, I might not. Honestly, that's a lot of work and more money than I really care to put into this car. So that being said, next video is probably gonna be us fixing the seating position, because like I showed you guys earlier, I used to eat the steering wheel in this thing. I don't even know how I used to drive like that. But that being said, hope you guys enjoyed. We'll catch you in the next one.